What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So at y'all's request since June, I think it is finally time I get this done. It's not gonna be on this today though, because it's gonna be on this behind me. So I have been talking about doing this since June. The reason I haven't is because of a lot of stuff that's going on. So this is of course the new house. If for those who don't know, we moved here back in June and it has been a cluster to say the least. So today I'm going to give you guys the full backstory and of course give you guys a look around our house for the first time since we moved in here. So for those who have been watching the channel and know the debacle that has been this house, which is why a lot of things haven't happened yet, the truck in particular not being wrapped is probably the biggest of the projects to take a hit from this house. So this house was abandoned almost a year ago by the people who lived here before. Fun fact for those who don't know, I used to actually live 3 doors down from here at a different house in this exact neighborhood. And the house was abandoned and it was trashed, and I mean trashed. And I'm actually going to put a lot of clips throughout from during the time period where we were actually fixing the house before we moved in. A lot of it is still pretty rough, as I will talk about throughout the video, but you know, we've made huge progress on nearly restoring the entirety of this house since we moved in back in June. So yeah, this house was abandoned. It was just trashed. The people who lived here before were horrible. They split the countertops in half. They've done so much damage to the house that we had to fix. I believe we've invested probably close to about $10,000 to $15,000 in renovating this entire house because it was just that bad. And we're not done. We're far from done. We still have lots of stuff to do, and it's going to be quite the adventure. But I think it's time for us to now finally get into this video and actually go and check out the house. So outside here, we've got this amazing view. I love how this house looks. The styling is probably my favorite part about it. I love the brick fixtures up here. I love all just the nice color choices they went with this house. It is a very nice, modern-ish house. It's a craftsman style house, but it is very modern-ish. It doesn't look terribly outdated. Of course, we do have some cosmetic issues. Like I believe that looks like a wasp nest up there. You guys might not be able to see it. That looks like that probably is dead by now, but you know, we do have a bit of a wasp issue in the porch from time to time. It's pretty uncommon that we have them here, but they do make their appearance well known from time to time. And then we have this little bit right here which we're working on, but we've been kind of waiting for fall to set in properly before we deal with any sort of exterior issues. Besides that, the house is in pretty good shape cosmetically from the outside. So of course the big stuff we've done is we actually did power wash the deck. We're going to be painting this eventually, probably to match a lot of the colors we've done with the house. The entire front doorway is redone. We've got our little ring here, which my dad is probably going to be watching later and see the fact that I'm recording this. So hi, Dad. We've got our porch furniture, which you guys have seen kind of little snippets of this before because I filmed a monthly update out here before and you guys loved it, so I may start doing that more often out here. We also have our front door, which we actually painted about a month ago, and it just looks spectacular. So a little bit of damage here. We don't know exactly what happened here. The people who lived here before had some road rage incident and someone followed them home and smashed their windows to their cars. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is related to that incident. But of course we've got our smart lock, which I believe has already locked me out, which I'm glad because I have a code to get in, which I'm not going to put on video. But I think let us venture inside and see what we've got going on. All right, doors unlocked. Let us venture on in. So of course, the cool thing about the power lock, whatever you want to call it, it will lock itself after a minute. So let me crank on some lights in here. Oh, that's the outdoor. There we go. So we've got our chandelier here. This was actually left behind by the people who lived here before. We actually just took it over and pretty much just put new bulbs in it, and that was that. So this is our front main living room, which if you guys saw the last house is very similar. We've done a bit of a different color scheme though. At the last house we had a lot of bright colors. It was mostly white. It was very just basic kind of stuff. We wanted to make this house a bit more spectacular. So we went with this really nice, almost Nardo gray kind of finish on the walls. This is one of the first rooms we completed completely. And my goodness, if I have any pictures from the house before we did all that, I gotta show it to you guys. It was horrible. So then here we've also got our piano and stuff like that, which I actually don't play very often. I like to think I can play piano pretty well, but I don't play it often. We have our chair and stuff like that. You know, the usual stuff we had before in our last house. We've also got these new blinds in here. At our last house, we didn't have these windows really covered very well. We had like these really long curtains, which were kind of tacky. So we went with blinds here instead of having long curtains. You know, it looks a lot better to me, and of course keeps temperatures cool in here because during the summer, especially, so much light would get let in here, it would heat up the downstairs pretty bad. So that's my dog. who has decided to make an appearance. So that's my dog. For those who don't know, she's a Dachshund Jack Russell mix. She's a mini. She's just the funniest little thing, and she's just the sweetest little thing in the world. And she loves being on camera, don't you? So you see here. You're distracting me, Lola. I gotta get back to it. So some of the cosmetic damage of the house is, of course, the carpet. Lots of burn marks, lots of just terrible care for the carpet was taken here in the house. And we had it actually replaced upstairs. As you guys can see here, we've got this really nice carpet here, which I love. It's very nice and tall. It's been matted down, obviously, because we've all been walking on it. But we love it here with these carpets, and I think we're going to be doing kind of something similar down here. But the one thing we're actually going to be doing down here, so this is the old carpet, like I said, that's damaged. This is after several attempts with a carpet cleaner to clean this up. This is probably one of the last little bits of damage that is left down here, minus some stuff in the kitchen, which I'll get into in a minute. So once we get that replaced, we're going to be golden. But what we're doing down here is we're ripping up everything. We're ripping up this carpet and this hardwood here, as well as most of the carpet over here. And going with a completely linear hardwood, which I've seen the preview. You guys will see the preview of what it will look like because we've already done this in my bathroom, which we'll get into in a minute. But yeah, so kind of the same Nardo gray color throughout the house here. One thing we did different was we actually did a blue for the dining room. Now this house before was very Caribbean inspired. The people who lived here before and the owner of this house, because we're doing lease to purchase, which if you guys don't know is renting and then buying it later. Once the lease is over. It's a pretty cool way to get a house, and it still winds up being a home ownership type deal. You're responsible for everything as if you owned the house. So that's why we've done everything here. So these walls were all yellow. This one was like a doo-doo brown, and we think the people who lived here before painted this, because you guys can see there's a little bit of overpainting up here. I wouldn't say overspray, but like some overpainting up on the ceiling there. You guys can kind of see that throughout the house every once in a while. There's like a really bit of horrible paint job done, but these walls were all yellow, and it looked, I thought it was okay, but my parents weren't big fans of it, which is why I went with the Nardo gray. And in here was like a cyan kind of color. Cyan's always kind of sus, so we went with a more aqua blue kind of color, which I really like this color, so I'm kind of happy they went with this. We have some curtains that kind of match with it pretty well, especially with the dark hardwood. We thought it'd be best to do like a dark blue to kind of match everything. We've actually also done these. These were also color matched. So these were all, cyan or yellow or whatever to match the walls. So we wound up repainting these white to kind of give them a more column kind of finish. And we have like enamel paint in here, so it looks very much like rock. It's a really nice finish for the stuff. It looks more like marble and stuff like that, which is just really cool. I really like the finish we went with here. So that is the dining room. So now we're going to move on to one of the only rooms that still has quite a bit of issues, and that is the kitchen. So in here before, if I have any pictures, I'll show you guys. We have a new light fixture in here as well. The original one just sat too low and it was ugly. So we kept hitting our heads on it trying to get anything done here. So we wound up getting this one here, which we had at our second to last house, the house where I lived in when I first started the channel. We had a very similar light fixture to this. We unfortunately didn't take it with us, but we always kind of liked it, so we kind of brought it back here. So the countertops in here were destroyed. And I mean destroyed. So these are actually slightly different than the original ones. The only places the original countertop is still left is this right here and this one over here. Outside of that, the countertops have all been replaced because they were all shattered. This was completely unusable, and it was so broken that if I were to do this and push, you could slide the entire countertop almost off of the cabinet completely. This one right here had cracks, right here, right here, right here, and it would be all the way over here. I apologize for all the dishes and stuff. We haven't taken the time to do dishes yet today. So we got cracks. We had so much damage, and don't even get me started on the appliances. The oven was practically useless and was so gross that we just didn't want to touch it. We didn't use the oven. It had one functioning burner because for whatever reason the people who lived here before ripped off all the knobs that went with it. So we didn't have a way to actually use the stove. And the microwave was just so gross and so far gone that we didn't want to touch it. It was so disgusting. The inside there was like beefaroni and stuff that was 6 months old, just lingering in there, getting disgusting, all sorts of grime and stuff. No one wanted to touch it, so we wound up actually replacing both of them. Sure, people are gonna think it was a waste of money because we could have easily restored those two appliances, but we just decided that'd be better for us. They actually had left a fridge here as well, which you guys might see in some of the older clips. We wound up moving our old fridge in here. We've had forever in here. And we have the fridge that was left here in the garage now. So we're one of those families that's a garage fridge now. So outside of that, we've got kind of everything else here in the kitchen's pretty much accounted for. I'll get to the back porch last. As well, I'll gloss over the basement. The basement's a mess right now. It's so bad I don't even want to show it off. But you know, we've got all of our stuff. We've got this really funny sign that we've had hung up at all of our houses for the last couple of years. It's really funny. But living room. So now we're talking about the next room that has bad flooring. This one's pretty bad too. This is also getting that same hardwood as the rest of the house. The goal is to have one linear floor that doesn't need a lot of transitions. So that was kind of one thing we really wanted. But yeah, so the carpet here is not it's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as in here, and especially not as bad as my bedroom, which I'll get into in a minute. We've got our usual suspects here. Pretty much we did the exact same layout as our last house. I believe we were using the same curtains, same artwork and stuff like that. We've got a ton of Star Wars memorabilia because we're all a bunch of Star Wars nerds here. So we've also got our normal TV and stuff in here. We've got this right here, which is a really cool way to hide wires. When we first moved here, we had tons of wires kind of hanging around because of all the stuff we have. We had our cable box, we have our PlayStation 3 down here, as well as my Wii in particular over here. So a lot of like wires hanging around. The Wii's not even hooked up at the moment, which I just noticed. So we ran them all with this little wire thingy up to the TV, and it looks really nice, and it's kind of inconspicuous. So it looks pretty cool. We also have our fireplace here, which is not chimney. It is one of those that you turn it on, the light switch, and it just does its thing. So yeah, that is the living room and kitchen area. Pretty solid kind of stuff to go with. Our decorations have definitely helped, as well as some of the repairs we've done. But I think now we're going to get into probably my favorite part of the house, because it pertains to me specifically, and that is my bathroom. So out of all the places in the house, this was probably the most damaged. I'll probably have a couple clips on screen now of some of the horrible stuff that was wrong with my bathroom. For whatever reason, there's still a little bit of issues here. It's not solid yet, but all in all, it is so much better than it was. So let's go ahead and hop in here, turn on the lights, and here we go. So we've done a full Route 66 inspired kind of deal in here. Lots of damage was in here. There's spots all over the ceiling, which we've kind of covered up. There's a lot of imperfections in the walls, which for the most part we've been able to repair. There's still some stuff over here which we've been working on. We got this awesome light fixture, which I love. I keep my Bluetooth speaker in here because I listen to music when I take showers and stuff like that, so it's always nice to have it on hand so I don't forget it. Got this really nice new toilet, which is really cool. It's got these like push button things on top of them. I don't even remember how much these cost. I know they're not terribly expensive now. We've got all this this cool car memorabilia, which of course, me being me, it makes the most sense to have. One of my favorite little touches is these little shift knob cabinet knobs, which is really cool. So I mean, they're shift knobs. Of course, they're 4-speed, which kind of sucks. Me being a more modern person would have liked a 5 or 6-speed, but 4-speed will work. It still gets the idea across. And this is probably one of my favorite parts of my bathroom. And for those wondering why I have a red light in here, it even works, as you can see. I don't turn it on often, but it's there, and I love it. So it's probably one of my favorite parts about the bathroom is the fact that I have this really cool red light hanging up in here. It's really slow transitions. It's not like an actual red light, but it does its thing in here, and it looks fantastic. So that is the bathroom. As far as damage goes, it's pretty solid. We do have a couple burn marks in the countertop. We believe people lived here had hot combs and didn't have places to put them to keep them from damaging the countertops, or didn't make much of an attempt to, so it damaged the countertops. The door is a little bit funny about fitment. As you guys can see here, it's kind of not fitting right, and before you really had to drag it shut. My dad actually managed to adjust it a little bit, make it fit better. But speaking of doors not fitting right, this is my bedroom door, as you guys have seen before. There's literally an air gap right here, so it lets out a lot of air, which is probably why my room stays kind of warm. Literally, if I turned all the lights off, you guys can see a little bit of light coming through my room. So yeah, and doors down here especially don't seem to fit right. This one doesn't even latch completely shut. This is for the mudroom here. So there's still stuff we're working out, and this is really what's left, is getting the doors replaced here, getting everything finalized, doing the mudroom, and of course the upstairs master, which I think is the only place in the kitchen and all the flooring down here. We don't really have much left. And like I said, this was horrible. So we also have our basement door here, which I'll gloss over here. It is the exact same floor plan as the house outside of the upstairs level, just downstairs. And it's really big, really spacious. It also has its own deck, which is really cool. It's where our fire pit is located, is down through the basement level. So it's really nice. It's really cool. I love it. We have a couple closets here. We have this one right here, which has just like some doors you pull open. We have another one here that is the same thing. We of course have the mudroom and the garage, which I'll get into in a minute. But now let's venture into my room and talk about the worst carpet in the house. So let's on here. Of course, it can't be me right away without having all my game consoles laid out. Of course, I have my GameCube, my Switch, which of course, being me, I can't not have my RGB lights. I've got a couple Switch boxes for all my other consoles because, like I've said before, I do collect. So I have quite a few consoles lying around that I used to play video games with. But my primary rig is over here. This is, of course, my brand new PC I got a couple weeks ago, which a lot of you guys might not know about if you guys subscribe to RT2. You guys already know this exists. I also have all the specs listed on the second channel, so you guys can go check this out and see more about it. So got my desk here, which we are going to be upgrading to an L shape once we get the carpet done in here. The carpet in here is absolutely butchered. I don't know what the heck happened here or here. It just looks horrible. I also have a little bit of trash I have to pick up my bag. The dog again. There's a lot of like discoloration and stuff like that, which seems to be the biggest issue. That's a jacket. A lot of the issues in this right here. I don't know what in the world. I feel like that's gum, but I can't tell for sure. But yeah, the flooring in here is a serious work in progress. Once we get the carpet done down here, it'll be golden and this will be fixed. But that is my room at least. And like I said, it can't be me without having a bunch of RGB lights and stuff and just looking kind of gamery. So, Lola, what do you think? We should go out of here and go to the garage? I think she knows. Hi. Alright, let's go ahead and head out to the garage, which you guys have probably seen the most when it comes to my channel. I don't know why she's acting like she's going to the front door, because that's not where we're going. So the mudroom itself is probably, again, one of the more damaged rooms. A lot of dirt and a lot of like damage to the walls. I had to put this here because the little door stops don't work. So we've had, we noticed when we first moved here that this had busted a hole through the wall, like a rather large one. As you guys can see here, that's what I mean with the door stop not working. So this is again one of the work in progress areas. We're working on this as we go, but here we are in the garage, which you guys remember the last house is pretty much the exact same. It's a it's a 3-bay garage here. We got 1 bay over here, which is currently occupied by all this stuff, and the Mustang will be here eventually. We have this bay right here where I'm standing, which is where the Equinox usually is, but my mom is out about the which is why I'm recording this in the first place. We have our garage fridge, which is where when the guys come over and they're wanting to have a couple drinks, this is usually where we keep them. We have a treadmill, which we are meaning to put that together. We just haven't gotten it done yet. And of course the dog, once again, making her appearance. So it is actually a bit taller in here than the last house. The last house, the garage was kind of short. Here you could probably fit a lift, like a small, like 3-post maybe, or 2-post, whatever it is, in here. I wouldn't expect anything bigger than that, especially with how low the garage doors sit. So I mean, that'd probably have to be pretty far back, but you probably could fit a small lift in here, especially if we cleared up the 3rd bay over here and we're able to do that. So that is the garage. I think it's time we visit the upstairs level of the house and see what we got going on over there. All right, so now we're heading upstairs. So right away we've got this light here, which is an Adamson bulb, and I love these Adamson bulbs. I think they're really stylish and kind of classic, but still kind of cool. So yeah, this is the new carpeting that we've done here, and it looks fantastic. I really love the new carpeting. It's really comfortable as well. So up here we've got our usual loft from like the last house. It's pretty much like I said, flipped. We got my brother and sister's rooms respectively. My sister's bathroom here, which was one of the first big renovation jobs. I'm not showing them off in detail because of privacy reasons. I also apologize about lighting. Let me see if I can pop a light on up here. Yeah, that kind of works. Got our air hockey table, which is kind of preoccupied with stuff for renovations because this up here was a nightmare. This bedroom over here, my sister's room, was completely unusable for the longest time. It was just so far gone, but we've since restored it and we're back to business. We've got our loft up here, which has our PS4 and our second GameCube. We do have 2 GameCubes here, for people who wonder. This couch actually belonged to my great-grandmother before she passed away earlier this year. It's reclining. It's a really nice couch. We've got, obviously, again, our consoles, the dog, and some shelves. which is where we keep a lot of books and board games, stuff like that. Our copies of Uno, Upwards, Cards Against Humanity, all that good stuff is all up here. Our copies of all the Star Wars books that I've got. Pretty much all of our books are here, as well as our PS4 and one GameCube game, because I have most of the GameCube games. But yeah, we have these blackout curtains, which keep things surprisingly dark up here. It is usually incredibly dark up here, as you guys saw when I first came up here. Got this tiny. We've had this TV for a very long time, so we've been kind of using it. My brother actually just got a monitor because my brother did secure an Xbox Series S, so he's having fun with that whenever those start releasing. We've got the master bedroom over here, which again I'm not showing for privacy reasons, as well as our laundry room over here, which is doing its thing. That's another one of the doors that doesn't exactly fit right. This one is like about even worse than my bedroom. It's a mixture of like my bedroom and the mudroom, because I can push this open just like the mudroom door. Again, work in progress. Like I said, I gave you guys the backstory on this house at the beginning of the video. You guys know what you're getting into. The house is not going to be perfect. We've been here since June, and it's been a huge investment. So it has been a nightmare, to say the least, to get this done. So I think we've got one last place to check out, and that is the back porch, which is huge, and talk about the backyard and a little bit more background on the house. So let's get out there. All right, so time to go to the back porch. We got these really nice sheer curtains here, which help keep a lot of light out, because these originally were just completely open windows here. Not open as in no window in general, but just no protection from the sun or anything like that. So go ahead and pop out here. So here we are, the back porch. Which, don't stand there, Lola. Don't want to shut the door on you. There we go. So the back porch here, we've got our little outdoor chairs. We've got a day bed, which is a really cool touch that we didn't have before at the last house. We'd actually bought this to use the last house before we moved, and then we moved. So it is here at the moment. We also got our grill and smoker and all that stuff, which my dad bought shortly after we moved here, I believe. I know, we had it at the last house. I actually did a video with him when we went to go pick this up. There's also a bluebird, which looks pretty cool. So the backyard. This was a big issue when we first moved here. As you guys can see, it still has a bit of overgrowing issues we've been working with. We just need heavy equipment for this. So we just have to get a hold of some heavier equipment to get down here. They used to be a lot worse than this, trust me. Apparently, the people who lived here before let it get so bad. There's actually a shed either down here or way back there, but it's so overgrown you can't get to it anyway, so it doesn't even matter that it's even in the first place. It's probably so dilapidated it's useless anyway. But this is, of course, a 3-level deck, or a 2-level deck, because we've got our stairs that lead to the bottom here, that lead straight to the backyard. We also have our second level, and for whatever reason, we have a lawnmower over here, and I don't even think it's mine. I believe this is actually the previous people who left this behind, so I think we're going to give it to our grandparents with that if we can make sure it works. So, there's a lawnmower here. Like I said, you can go down these, which will take you straight to the bottom of the decking into the backyard, which, like I said, is rough. And then over here, we've got our fire pit, and of course the entrance into the basement level of the house. So we have some lighting up here. We had my brother's friends over for his birthday the other day. So this is our fire pit area. We've got these really nice Adirondack chairs, and of course the little footstep down here. We have this little door to the basement, which is pretty clean, I think. It's kind of like a lower level apartment, which I really like about it, because that way, you can have friends over, and if we ever did get like a little path made, which is what I would want to do personally if I was able to make decisions here, I'd have a path done from the side of the house down here and then wrap around to the stairs. That way it's treated as like a second walkway. That way people can walk straight to the lower deck of the house and go straight in, because eventually the plan is, as long as I'm still living here in a couple years, we are going to finish the basement, and that'll be my living space. I'll have like a separate apartment from everybody else in the house. Since I'm obviously the oldest, I gotta get those perks. But yeah, so that is my house, and the whole story about how we restored it almost completely. Like I said, there's still some works in progress, so I apologize if some of the house seemed kind of jank, but that's kind of what we're working with right now. We've been living here since June. We've done so much work here, and it's been an absolute nightmare to get everything done. So please just keep that in mind if you're thinking about coming, oh, your house is so destroyed, it's so gross, ugh. But this has literally been a work in progress since June, and it was a lot worse than this. So hope you all enjoyed this little house tour. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe for more content coming soon on my truck, because I'm not doing any house improvement videos. That's not what this channel is about. I may eventually do a house tour though, again, once the house is completely restored, and I think that'll be pretty fun. So hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Stay safe out there in the world, and I will see you guys on Monday with a brand new video. Take care, guys.